There we go. Anyhow, I wanted to say hello to everyone and welcome to EchoCode Live. I'm excited to be able to share this with everyone because it is a new space for me and I find YouTube pretty damn exciting. So today I have Tracie Mahan who was on with me last week and we had an absolute blast. And so we kind of got our times mixed up today. So we're on slightly late, but we are on nonetheless. So hopefully you come and play with us. Anyway, what Echo Code Live is understanding that we are the uniqueness and the individual power that we all look for in our lives, that we look for in our world. We are that aspect of reality that we've been seeking. And so what Echo Code Live is here for is to be able to ask questions around what that looks like and why you would even care. Because let's be honest, when you have things that are in the way, when you have things that you want to address as far as what's not working in your world, when you know that you're the reflection or it's the reflection of you, of your programming, and you're the creator of that reality, wouldn't it be cool if you knew that you could actually change it? And it goes from the inside out. So I'm going to bring Tracie up. Are you ready, Tracie? And we're going to have a really awesome conversation around what's next. I had a really super cool thing to share with you today, Trace.
Share away.
I was.
And hello, everyone.
Yeah. You know what? It's when you're new doing this, you tend to have all the little hiccups of funness. So there you go.
We're in Mercury in retrograde. So that's the gap in communication right there.
Oh, is it? You know what? I never bought that before. That's programming that doesn't exist in my reality. I'm like, what's that? Mercury, what does that even mean? I know what it means, but I mean, I'm not subscribed, so I don't see that result. And what a cool way to start off the conversation with what that could actually mean. Oh, look at that. I'm going to pop Juliet up there. Hi, Juliet. And Mary Lucy. Yay. So let's
look at all the hearts and the.
Yes, thank you guys. Let's talk about what that means. I had the coolest experience today. You know, you have those full circle moments where you discovered something from your internal knowing and then you saw it in your reality and you're like, oh, holy crap, that's actually true. Like someone else is talking about it. That happened to me just today, which is like, I didn't know whether to laugh and cry at the same time, or I didn't know what to do, because let me just share the story. Okay, you ready for the story?
Because I
would love your insight into it as well. So first I want to say welcome to everybody that's here watching and hanging out with us. Feel free to ask questions anytime in the chat, and we'd be happy to play with you here. So here's my story. Water is always the conduit for me for infinite knowledge. And when I'm curious, even if it's not right in the moment, if I've got curiosities floating around in my head, they get answered. So I have questions, and at some point when I get into water, any water, shows up. So I was getting some really deep insights on, I'm going to air quote it, manifestation. Because manifestation for me is more like actualization, right? Where we actually bring it into our world. We actually have that experience. So manifestation is like the manifest. I think I've talked about this last time. So I'm in the hot tub the other day and I'm getting this like super cool inside view of what manifestation, actualization is. And I'm like, drinking water as well. Yeah. And what I got was, so I have a fascination with black holes. Okay. So black hole for me was the heart center of everything, where creation is. So did I mention this last time? I feel like we were taught to be afraid of the dark.
Yeah, you touched on that.
Did I talk about that? Yeah. And because of being afraid of the dark, we don't actually like to go there. And we avoid it a little bit because there's a kind of a programming around a fear of the dark. But what I've discovered is that the dark is actually the space of creation. It's the pre-existence of something that you'd like to experience. So of course, I'm like, wow, that's awesome. I also saw a toroidal donut like going in the heart center and out and around, right? So we would see our reality and it would just be every nanosecond would come to fruition. And the reason why some people say the same things all the time is because they don't, because maybe they're not aware of that, first of all, that we're in that creation mode consistently. And they keep staring at the same thing, wanting something different, but wondering why it's not changing. So that whole locks it into place. And I'm watching this all go down like, wow, this is so cool. And I'm getting like the black hole is creation, and we exist inside of there, and also we have access to the pre-existence of anything that we'd like to experience in our world. So it'd be like manifestation like 10.0, like it's like way out there, so awesome. And the accessibility we have to the pre-existence of what we want is the key to accelerating that experience. So I was like, okay, this is so cool. We create from that space. It looks like a toroidal donut, which I was laughing my head off at that. Also, sprinkles on it. I'm like, well, that's fun. And I got this whole huge, like, step by step by like nanosecond step of understanding how that actually works so that we can bring whatever it is we're wanting into fruition, coming from the pre-existence of it. And so I have a whole audio on it. I'm putting it up on my secret podcast if anybody wants to listen to it. But I today was watching, you know, digital stuff shows me everything because we are the outside world showing itself to us. Like it's the reflection, the monitor. So I open up Instagram and I see someone, I don't know what it's called when they have a video in the background and they're commenting about and what do you call it? They're the commentator of the video that's not of them, is of someone else. And it's of someone that I follow who was, of course, speaking about black holes and how it was like pre-existence. And I was like,
right up your alley.
I was like, oh my God. Right. And all the stuff they were saying was stuff that I got in the hot tub. Right? And so that moment of like come together where I was like, holy shit, this is how I love my world to go. I love having the weird experience first and having the knowing of what all that stuff is before I see it anywhere else. And they were speaking into the science of it, which was the best part ever. Cause I'm like, oh, tying science to what I got was so good. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you because the moment was like, what do I do? How do I share it? There's nobody here to share it with. Like I had nobody to tell. There you go. So now I'm telling you.
So now we all know.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Everybody watching is knowing my experience now. And what I get to do is actually put that together with like what I got, the audio that I got and the video that I saw and put them together and be like, I'm like, I get to put the timestamps together because this shows that I got this, you know, days ago and this showed up today. And I don't know when that video was created, but I didn't see it before. So that was really fun. And why I'm sharing it is because it's so flippin' validating. And I think I saw somebody say that in here too. Perfect validation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things kind of, it was so good. And I honestly wanted to cry. I was so excited because how often we go through our lives and maybe we're not seeking validation, but validation when it comes is so gratifying. Like, yeah, I got all this crazy shit and sometimes I don't know what to do with it. And then someone else starts popping up going, hey, what about this? And I'm like, yes. Anyway, so that was my story. So what do you think about that?
Are you asking the audience? We need
everybody.
We want everybody to get in here.
Yeah, you and the audience. I mean, what do you think about when those moments come together where you realize like, yeah, I'm not the only one to get this cool information. Like there's scientists, there's people talking about this stuff in the scientific world, and I'm getting it naturally just by having some curiosities. And that gets to spark something in you because where I got it from was the thought around, wow, we have really like sunk into the programming of being afraid of the dark when that is a space of of creation, of the pre-existence of what we really want to experience. And when you go there and you know that, dang, you can create anything you want to experience, which is like so good, right?
Because
It's
we
like
all realize that it
so good.
really is exactly that. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess what my big question would be not what do you think of it, but what do you want?
What do you want?
If we could access right now, we all have access to the pre-existence of anything that we want, then the proverbial question of what do you want is relevant right now.
Right now.
Because then we can walk through what does it look like to access the pre-existence of that in the darkness in order to bring it into the light, which we are, right?
Now, is there like an exercise to lead everyone through that? Like if we all close our eyes and just imagine going into that space
Yeah.
and create it. You want to
Yeah.
guide us on that?
So how about this? I would say question number one, what do you want?
Yeah.
Pull that into your focal point at this point. Like, what do you want? I would say attribute to experience and experience. What do you want to experience? Because it's one thing to want like a lip balm, but that's not an experience. Although it could be because when you're addicted to
Right.
putting lip balm on,
If
but
you
it's
got
very short. That's very short term. That's like okay, go to the store, buy it, put it on, done. Let's look at what we would like to experience that we would classify as the future, our future, right? Which could be infinite things. Is it a relationship? Is it financial wellness? Is it physical wellness? What is it that we would like to experience? And then hone in from there. Like have the whole experience, and then you can kind of pull it into, yeah, this particular experience would be super fun for me.
yeah.
And I say that because super fun part is so important. The heightened frequency of joy and excitement creates like so fast. I don't know how many times in my world I'm like, oh my God, that'd be so fun. And the next thing you know, what's happening, I'm like, whoa. I was like, my favorite thing is a water slide. And so
Ooh.
for me, it's like going
Ooh.
down the water slide well, of course it has to do with water. I never thought about that, but right, flying down a water slide and like screaming my bloody
Getting
lungs
your
out.
information super fast, going super fast.
Yeah, it's like quantum water slide. So good. But yeah, for sure. I'm like, who's running what they want on here? Anybody? Let's see.
Yeah.
Love already be over the hump of ascension, where all the systems have evolved and peace is prevalent. Okay, so that is a very large desire. But what if you asked for you versus like for us? You say, I would love for us to be over the hump of ascension, but every one of us is having a different experience. And ascension is internal from my perspective. It's internal.
Mine too. It's a individual journey that we're doing collectively. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. We each have our own experience of it. That's why I use the word experience, because we're going to have some type of experience in our reality. And it's going to bring about what is a collective experience as well, because we impact others around us, but we can't control what their experience is and even what they're thinking or what they want. So we get to create from our own viewpoint. And that is, I would say, the greatest gift we could give ourselves.
I
I
love
love
these guys in the chat.
go
Might as well
big or
go
go
big or go home. You guys are funny. Hello,
home.
Donna,
Yeah.
Kelly, Juliet, Ellie. You guys are all jumping in the chat. We're inviting everybody to come jump in the chat. If you're watching from Facebook, please come over to the YouTube link for that, so that we're sure to get your responses and see what you're commenting, because I don't believe the Facebook comments make it to us.
It might, or you don't think so?
I don't think so, because I shared it from my YouTube page, so I don't think it's connecting to the comments. I didn't share it from the SteamYard. I shared it from YouTube.
Oh, from YouTube. Gotcha.
So
We get to share it from
we're
everywhere.
learning.
Yeah, we are learning. It's fun. It's fun to learn this way.
And I was learning really fast today since I messed up the time. I was over there going, I got 20 minutes. What are you talking about?
I'm like, dude, we were supposed to be on 6 minutes ago.
So
yeah.
anyways, you guys are amazing. We love having you come on here and share your thoughts with us and all the things. We were live last week. That was fun. Yeah. And we had a lot of really cool interactions and thoughts and shares. So whatever you guys want to ask us, this would be a great time to do it.
It is.
Wendy has got magic going on here with how to shift your perspective of things. So what are you struggling with? That would be a good question. What are you struggling with that you'd like us to play with you and shift it?
Or I would rephrase that even so. Not what are you struggling with? What are you feeling resistance against? Because when you have the struggle and you always look for the struggle in your world, you're always going to look and see the struggle in your world. So when you shift that perspective, it's more, what would you like to experience?
Yeah.
So I see this comment right here. Am I on the right path? Well, here's some super fun. So what we do in this space is Tracie and I both comment. We both dive in. We both like play off each other, and we both like have some fun inside this space. And here, I'll leave that comment up there just so that we know what we're focusing upon. So here's my perspective, Swapna. The only person that can know if you're on the right path is you. Because we all have an individuated experience in this reality. And if you're experiencing things in your reality that aren't lining up, those are the things you want to address in order to understand whether you're on the right path or not. Because the resistance of your reality would indicate a misalignment. So it's either a misalignment with programs that are in the way, or a misalignment because the path is something else. So that would be my perspective on that. And then from there, there's a knowing. You can't know the future. You can only know the now, right? Yes, you can look back at the choices you've made in the past, but you can't go back and change it and come forward. I mean, we could do that, but from a different perspective. But the only thing you have control over is your now. And if in your now you're feeling that you're not on your path, there's some questions that you get to ask yourself in order to identify. The number one thing is, do you know what you're driving towards? Do you know what you're after as far as what metric are you giving yourself to be on the path? What is the thing that if you're on the path, you'd be like, yes, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Or I'm not on it. Because having an open gate of infinite possibilities does not indicate anything about a pathway. It's just an open field. And literally you could choose to go any which way, and any which way could either be the path or not be the path, or they can all be the path. It just depends on what you're walking towards. So that would be my next question. So maybe lean in and ask yourself that question. You might be able to get there today, because it's not that you don't know, it's that maybe you just haven't asked yourself.
So what I want to add to that is, from my information from channeling, is we can never do it wrong. So when you ask, am I on the right path? Yes, because you're learning something from whatever you're doing. So it's always the right path, good, bad, or otherwise, you're on the right path. Now, what I think you're asking is more purposeful. And that is, again, like Wendy was saying, you're the one that's going to know. Is it bringing you joy? If what you're doing is bringing you joy, then you are on the right path. You are heading the right direction. Follow that heart. The heart is the compass for that. So hopefully that just added to what you were saying and all the goodies. But yeah, you can't do it wrong, you guys. We gotta quit worrying about it. It's like we want to be on purpose. We all have this desire to be like, I want to make something with this. I want to do something with my life. I feel like there's something purposeful that I could be doing. If we could give ourselves a little breath with that and know that no matter what you do, you are doing it right, because you're going to learn something from it. Now follow your heart and have fun. And then you're going to be going the right direction with that path.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's so much pressure that we put upon ourselves. And listen, that's not because it's not your fault for that. There's so much pressure in our reality. Well, the education systems, the health systems, the cultural systems, the families, it's programs of pressure saying you need to be something, pick something, do something. And we are. Being born is something, and being here is something. And then the joy in the experience is the pleasure that we have in living this reality. And you'd be surprised that being being joyful in the moment is what creates the kind of peace and joy that we're all after. Like humanity is after a level of peace that we all haven't experienced together for who knows if ever. And
Mhm.
that's what being after that, if every human chose their right now to be the most peaceful moment because they're in exactly the right place, the entire universe, multiverse, world, globe, reality would
Yeah.
shift to reflect that, which would indicate the largest amount of peace we could ever experience. And it's not even hard, right? You could have a million things going on in your life and still take the moment to access that level of peace, which will resonate and ripple through everything going on in your world and flavor your world with that peace that you have chosen. It's extremely powerful.
We all need to learn how to say it's so easy. If
Yeah.
we all can just learn to say it's so easy. Don't worry, it's going to be easy. It's so easy.
Yeah.
And then the more you say it, the more you create that reality and that vibration, that frequency to create that experience.
You know, you say that. It's so funny. I always say when I'm going up against doing something and I'm like, I could do hard things because hard things are actually easy. And then I realize actually anything that we deem hard is not because it's difficult, it's because it's new. Right?
Mm,
So we have this little thing in our head, like, I've never done that before. I might not be able to do it, or maybe I can do it, but I don't really know. It's new. And we automatically slap the label of it's hard on there. And all of a sudden, the difficulty arrives. Why? Because we automatically assume that we've not done it before. So it's going to be difficult. And that's not actually true. There are some things that you've tried that you thought, oh, that was so easy. Like,
mhm.
how many of you have actually done that, right? Oh, you're going to try something, you're going to do something that's new to you, and you're like, wow, that was so much easier than I thought it would be.
We love that.
Yeah, because it's just new. So if you replace the word difficult or hard with new, it's not difficult, it's new. Okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's going to be easy to learn that new thing. Easy.
Yeah, it's all easy. Um, I'm just looking back at the comments here,
Yeah.
and Swapna popped back in and said, definitely, I've always wanted to live my purpose, right? So that's always good too. We've got Juliet. If we plan this prior to dropping into the body, then it would already be done, right? And yes, and is my
I like
response
that.
to that.
Yes. And
Yes, and Juliet. Yes, and if you don't know what that is, then your natural ego brain, your ego mind, that's the protection, well, programmed as protection until we change it, is going to automatically try to, prevent you from feeling any kind of resistance or any kind of new thing because you don't know what it is, and thereby would be like, uh-oh, trouble. Right? And something in you would have resistance doing it and not know what that resistance is, and meanwhile it's just the ego's way of protecting you. So what if you what you're saying is true, that you dropped in already knowing, what if you run into that resistance?
yeah.
How will you know that the resistance isn't just a natural program that's running, that's causing you to pause, when really you should be like, no, let's go, let's do that. There's no way to know that. But you can count on knowing that the soul of you is the soul of you no matter what. So whether you dropped in here or any timeline across the infinite amounts of timelines, you're going to be you and your most incredible frequency no matter what. And that you can trust. That I would lean on for sure. What about you, Trace?
Yeah. I think so. You know what? So if we planned all of this prior to dropping into the body, then it's already been done. Um, Gosh, that's such a convoluted statement. It's like
Yeah.
all time is now. It's already been done. We've already did this. There's multiple timelines. They've all existed. Are we hitting the reset button and doing it again? There's just so many ways to look at life and how it's playing. But I love that we have the free will to come in and do it different. Do it, we do have the free will. So even if it's all planned, we might have taken a detour or, had a hiccup in that plan and now we got to get it back on track. And I don't believe that everything in our life is planned. I feel like we have, certain very pivotal things that are planned and certain people that we have orchestrated to meet in our lives. But then we also have the freedom of creation. And as long as what we're creating is not affecting what our higher selves have planned to learn in this life, then we have freedom of creation.
Mm-hmm.
So we're learning, we're creating, we're manifesting, and we're playing in this reality, right? Like,
Yeah.
playing.
I mean, what if you learned how to shift timelines and you're no longer in the timeline where you think you had it all planned out?
Yeah. You
How
rewrite
could,
that story.
like, how could you know that? So the only thing you really have is the soul of you that is guiding your natural interest and your excitement. And the natural interest and excitement are on high frequency. And so if you're following your own guidance, the high frequency of natural interest and excitement will lead you in a direction that's going to create more of that. And it's going to make what you're after so much clearer.
Yeah.
Because you'll be like, yeah. Because if you just use those natural indicators to go, yeah, that doesn't look like fun. That doesn't feel like fun. Well, then don't go that way. Like you have a natural guidance system that's within you that's going to say that way or that way. The only thing you have is that. If there's only you in this reality, how would you discover which way to go? Right? You already have it. It's the natural resonator that's going to show you an emotion that's going to lead you in the direction that you get to go towards. And when you can trust that, let me tell you, the things that could happen are absolutely out of this world. So far beyond what you can imagine experiencing that.
Wouldn't it be cool if all the programming that taught us to do it any other way went away? Because if you think about it, when animals are born into nature, they're going off of that instinct and that intuition to survive and eat and even migrate and all the other things that animals do. What would happen if we didn't get all of that structure plugged into us all through our lives, and we were just born into a world and they said, go do it? How would we behave in that? That would be interesting.
Naturally, my first instinct on that is when you have so many choices, how do you feel?
Oh, too many choices can be overwhelming.
Yeah. So I think that's why we come in with certain parameters so that we can actually have a guidance system, an internal guidance system. Like, okay, oh yeah, you know what? When you're not interested in something, it's really easy to know that, right? Throw a couple really fun things to a creative, politics, or maybe something else, and pottery. And they'll be like, pottery all day. Right? Or painting or something creative. Yeah, politics can be creative as well. There's no doubt, because I found myself like dreaming in that space of what could be different and put some, could be anything else. Throw up two choices that are polar opposite, and you're going to be drawn to one out of the two. And
Yeah.
because of that, why? Ask yourself, how am I drawn to one and not the other? Well, that's the natural instincts that you were saying, animals are born with. Natural instincts. Those are the natural instincts that we're born with. And then when you lean into that, if you can trust that you're here on purpose, which say the choosing is all yours, and you land in here, then you could know that that choosing is yours and you're going to direct yourself exactly where you get to be. And that's those things that happen to you that seem out of this world could be classified as miraculous. Like, wow, I can't believe that happened. Miracle. Right? It's all how you look at it. Or you want to look the other way and go, I've been trying to force my square peg into that round hole for decades. What the hell's wrong? Why isn't it working? Well,
right.
Square peg, round hole. Oh, I'm sorry. Look over there. It's a square hole if it's your square peg. Like, right? There's two pathways. Only you can decipher that. Someone else could look at you and go, I don't know. What do you want?
Yeah. And that's it, full circle. What do you want?
Yeah. I was looking at this. I think Mary Lucy put up a financial freedom. Whoops, I'll put it back up there. Financial freedom. That's a great question, because my question to you would be, what is the experience of that gift you? What does financial freedom gift you? What experience do you get to have because of financial freedom? That's what I would ask.
Yeah.
Right? What does it create? Because I would invite the idea that you're thinking, well, I'd be able to support other people. Well, generosity, right? Maybe you'd be able to buy some new things. Well, that would be, adding a little bit of joy and alignment to your reality. Like, what is that? You get to pay for schooling, maybe? There's a million things that you could think of, but the experience is the true nature of why you would choose that. Financial freedom means something different to everyone. Right? That's where I would go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else we have in here? Buy a house and travel, she says. And that's the same thing, right? If you want to buy a house, what does that buying the house have? What is the experience that gives you? Safety, home, a sense of home, a sense of community if you're living in an area. And travel, what does that give you? The ability to move about and then come back home. There's so many things, right?
So many things. So many things. And it's going to be different for everybody. These things we ask for. I remember somebody doing that, saying something like that before, like, I want freedom. And the first time this is years and years ago. And at that stage of my life, you hear somebody say, I want freedom. And of course, my version of freedom is what I think everybody's asking for. And it was the first time I had ever heard somebody say, well, what does freedom look like for you? And I was thinking, well, doesn't that look the same for all of us? And then I heard their answer. I'm like, oh, it's not the same, and it was like this eye opener for me. And gosh, this was probably when I was in my 20s. So I love that question for everyone to dive in. And what does that mean for you? What does that look like in your reality if you had that?
What is the experience? Because I think that's what I got out of that black hole toroidal experience with actualization. The pre-existence is having the insight of experience. What experience would you like? Then when you can identify that from within, you're literally placing your attention on that experience and pulling it through into your reality, through that toroidal donut, through that black hole of creation, of pre-existence. And you're flavoring your entire reality with that desire of whatever that experience is, because what it looks like is going to look different than what you think it does. In fact, it's going to be better. It's going to look better than you think it does. That's the greatest part, because your limited ability to really detail out what that experience would create for you is a great thing. It's like, okay, well, this is the experience, and then get excited because the actual experience is going to be 100 times better. Yeah. So when you can nail that down, and the truth is, when you nail it down, you'll know. Because if your brain's trying to make shit up, like, well, I'm just going to pull in this, I'm going to pull in that. If your brain's trying to do it, guess what? It's not going to align. Right. That's the big fallacy. Your brain tries to says, well, I want this then. There's a bit of I remember going through this actually. There's a bit of a rebellious, egoic nature that we can have as humans and be like, well, if that's how manifestation works, then I want this and I want that, I want this, I want that. My brain tries to step in and decide what I want because of whatever reasons that it's deciding that. And I don't actually feel that within my beingness. I don't feel like that's an experience of it's a thing. Right? Now, can you use a thing in an experience? Yes, but that is not what's happening. Right? Well, I want a big house and I want a car and I want this. Well, those are things. Okay. That's why the word experience is so potent. Because when you bring that in, can you have those things? Of course you can. But because the experience that's tied to it is what's going to be the potency of it.
Yeah. I was playing with that not that long ago of, every New Year's, I put together my vision boards of what I want. And I noticed that when I'd put it up, then I'd start thinking, do I really want that? Or what do I think that's going to bring me? Like, what's that experience going to bring me? And then I realized, oh, that bigger house is going to be more cleaning and more, and I started getting very logical about it. It's like, that's going to, and that's gonna that nice big deck that I want is gonna need treated every year, and then that's gonna need to have that. And I started thinking about all the labor that was going to go into having all this space, and I was like, when am I going to actually enjoy it? I'm gonna have to. It's got all this upkeep, and then I downsized, and then I'm like, now that feels good. but it was good for me to go through that because I did want that grandeur. I was like, oh, I want this, and I want all this space, and I want this property, and I want. And then the more I thought about it, it's like, why do I want that?
Yeah.
And really what was happening is a couple of things that would be nice if it was different here in my current situation. I'm like, well, that doesn't equate to 2 acres of land and all this other upkeep that I would need to be doing. That actually just equates to a little bigger yard for my dogs, or and then I sit there and go, and really, how many rooms do I use in my house? Do I really need this formal dining room, or do I really need this extra living space? And it did. I kind of started getting real with it and realizing really what I want is to enjoy my home. And if I'm constantly feeling like I need to be upkeeping the home and cleaning the home, that's not very enjoyable to me. So some people like doing that stuff, and that's great. But
no.
Yeah.
I think part of it is, well, if you're generating that kind of financial wealth in order to afford it, you might actually be able to hire somebody to support
Hire
you.
somebody, yeah.
Yeah, that's my thought process.
That would be okay.
Bigger's not always better unless you're willing to have, there's a responsibility to having a staff, to support you with things. And so that's the piece where I would look at, like, do I want that responsibility of having to do that? Right? Because then I get to be more mindful of what I'm choosing. But it makes sense, as some people are totally okay with that.
Yeah.
Right? It makes total sense. So maybe we play in this space of creation and what that looks like for everyone. I mean, we could go through any type of process in order to get there. My invitation is, the first step, really, truly. Maybe that's what we'll do next week if you're open to do another one. We'll actually walk through the process, because the most important piece is to know what it is that you want to experience. And, some people could figure it out on the spot, and some people, they need a little bit of time to actually discover that, because it's not a question they asked.
How many times have we manifested something we wanted, and then when we got in it, we're like, nope, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. And you change that manifestation. But that's the beauty of it too. So we can change it.
Yeah. And so we get to change the wording around manifestation to actualization. You could change the manifest. It's like calling in the order. Oh, can you change that for me, please, before it gets here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because the cycle is real. I mean, having the ability to know that you have access to the pre-existence of anything in your reality changes the timeline instantly.
Yeah. What's our audience doing? Let's get you guys' input on this. What have you manifested and created? What have you?
Yeah, when have you done? When have you asked something and then got it? Like, you're like, I really love that, and all of a sudden it showed up, and you're like, whoa, that was good, right? Those things happen for me usually when I'm not expecting it, because I'll ponder something. I'll be like, well, here's how that leads right into the experience. I'll ponder something and the experience of it, and then all of a sudden it shows up. I'm like, whoa. Part of that is, be careful what you think about. Like, you could be letting yourself ruminate in something and then create it by accident, especially if you've got, a very clean moment or a clean mindset where you're joyful and you're happy and you're just thinking about stuff good. Be careful, because you'll create it so quickly, because that's the space of alignment, right? When you're joyful and at peace. I think that's why the high frequency of that
this is what we're heading towards. It's going to be so easy. And I think we are learning that piece to be mindful about it, because it's going to be so easy to create it. It is already easy to create.
It's already here. The difference is most of us have programming that's so stuck in that we're still buying into, mostly unconsciously, that the graduation into higher frequencies is slower, because is experienced as slower. Because believe me, when you shift programming, your body, that program has a frequency. Your body carries the equal frequency in a toxin. So if you're going to spit out gonna get rid of some toxins. You're gonna get rid of some programs. Your body's gonna go and match because the reflection is real. If you're gonna get really powerful with what you're gonna shift into, and you're gonna jump frequencies that have a lot of programs, you will experience some type of unwellness while your body detoxes very quickly, because there's only one way it can go out, and that's everywhere. Wherever that everywhere is all at once, or different places, but it experiences as illness or unwellness. And it's not that you're sick, it's that your body gets to detox, and the only way that it knows how. And so I've done that to myself multiple times on accident, where I shifted programs and it created instant illness.
Yeah, I think that I think I've experienced definitely those things as well, where all of a sudden I'll come down with flu-like symptoms, or acne, or all kinds of different things that are coming through the physical body to reflect that there's something that wants out.
Yes. Can you imagine doing that and not knowing? I think that's what a lot of humans do, right? Because to be honest, listen, obviously this is not a health channel, and I'm not a doctor. We're not doctors, but the energetic reality is this: if you're shifting timelines regularly and shifting programs regularly, you're going to experience a really interesting space inside of your body, where your body's on the old timeline until it's not, and you're going to shift through it with releasing the toxins that are matching the programming that you've released. And when the globe goes through it all at the same time, it kind of looks like a pandemic. Just saying.
Well, there was definitely a big purge going on, that's for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Kira. I'm just popping up this hello. Oh, you're at work. Good girl. Good.
Right.
Actually be at work and listening at the same time. So let's look at Ellie. What is Ellie saying here?
She's a manifester.
Ooh, let's see. I think I manifested a painter decorator at work. I was complaining to myself about the marks I can't clean off the wall. Thought they could use a fresh coat, and now this week we've had someone come repainting. Oh, nice job. Nice job.
Love it.
What is this? A.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Thank you guys for sharing. These are fun.
Yeah, I manifested my Audi car that I wanted so much happened through visualization and expressed the feeling of having it. Boom! The experience of having it. So let me ask you a question, A.
Hey.
Yeah. When you had the visualization and you expressed the feelings of having it, were you imagining yourself driving it? Was an experience of driving it, not just a visualization expressed through feelings, but when you had it, were you seeing yourself experiencing it, like driving to work or driving to the grocery store, picking up your family or picking up your friends? Those are the kind of things that create, because there's an alignment that comes together in your reality that pulls the experience actually into your timeline, which is so good. So good.
Yeah, I liked when I play with people with that. I'm always like, okay, I want you to be in your perfect world. You just woke up and it's your first part of the morning. What do you do? What's your routine in this new house that you want? And it's like, oh, I get up and I make my coffee and I have my breakfast and I'm going to get ready for work. And it's like, no. I want things like, okay, I put my feet on the ground and I realize that it's a hardwood floor and I'm going to want a rug there to make it a little warmer in the morning when I put my feet down. And when I went to brush my teeth, I don't have the medicine cabinet I used to have. Now my toothbrush is over here in a corner in a little toothbrush holder. Like I want those kind of weird details, because that makes that stuff so real that you're living and breathing it like your daily grind stuff. My next house is going to have one of those super showers in it with the nozzles that come out everywhere. And I'll just be like, just hose me off. No, but
Oh my gosh, too funny. My sister-in-law has a shower, or it's a his and her shower, and it goes like wall to wall, and you
oh
walk.
yeah.
It looks like it's like you can walk all the way through. I'm like it's like a car wash for humans.
Could you imagine your energy in that water? You'd
Oh,
just be like, oh, I'm getting hit with all these ideas.
literally.
For those of you who just joined us, Wendy was talking about how water is a conduit for information for her.
Massive conduit for
Yeah.
information. Yeah. I mean,
So,
that's even speaking of that, you have to be mindful. You get to be mindful of what you're asking.
yeah.
Because when you have access to the answers, then you can actually get answers to things that you don't even care you want answers to, right?
Right.
Oh, look at A saying, yes, I experienced driving it and listening to music in the car. See that? Oh yeah, I have a thing with music too.
Yeah.
Yeah, music is a beautiful frequency of creation as well. So good. I love it. That's awesome. Yeah,
Well,
what's the last thing you manifest or you actualize, Trace?
the last thing that I created,
Yeah.
Iceland, going to Iceland on a cruise.
You created Iceland, the actual
Yeah.
the land itself.
I created Iceland. What do you guys think? Do you like how it turned out? Um,
The land
going
itself.
on that cruise to Iceland was a creation. So traveling was one of the things I wanted to do, but like traveling abroad. And I've created all kinds of travel for myself now, which I'm really enjoying. So that was a big part. Um, I know there's other simple things that are probably more like I've this house that I'm sitting in. I created that the same way Aid created their Audi. It's like visualizing myself being in the house doing what I was telling you guys. What does that look like when I get up in the morning? What's under my feet? What am I experiencing? What temperature is the room? All these little things, and going through and that. um I've manifested so many things with these techniques, and yet I'll get in a rut where I'm, oh, woe's me, nothing's going right. It's like, oh yeah, because I haven't been spending the time in what I want. So
Yeah, well, so one of the things that's kind of popping into my head is what if so here's what a pattern that I will share with you in my experience that I create something really big and so it's at this high level all the time and all of a sudden it's leveling out. And because I've frequency risen to that space, the balance out of that, the frequency calibration feels like I say not blank, but even. And I'm like,
kind of
no, I
neutralized
want
out, you mean?
what's
Like it
that?
just neutralized out, or what?
No, in that when you start raising your frequency, you start eliminating programs. It
Mm-hmm.
feels like you're going somewhere. You're not actually going anywhere, but you're raising your frequency to something that's different. And the rise there feels exhilarating, but then all of a sudden it levels out like it plateaus where you feel it's normal. Maybe you need something else. And I have
Yeah.
this habit of filling my world with a million things because I'm like, oh my gosh, nothing's going on. Nothing's happening. Meanwhile, all kinds of things are happening. And I start thinking about all these things I can do, these things I can create, all these things. And all of a sudden they start dropping in and that lean into creation doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, I'm like, I can't keep up with my own butt. Like I'm running like crazy and I require support because I've created so many things, but you're just moving into the space where there is an actual wave of how your reality goes, right? And you're raising and then you're acclimating and then you're raising and you're acclimating. And to recognize that is a big deal because if you're always noticing that you feel like you haven't created something, it's because you're on the plateau. And that's where my encouragement is to look back and go, yeah, what did I just create? And
Yeah.
how much fun did I have creating it? And then lean into what's next. So you can recognize where you are instead of carry forward the frequency of maybe disappointment, maybe that you haven't gone anywhere. Like you can start tapping back in to other
Mhm.
frequencies of paused creation energy where you're spinning your wheels, right? The loop is real. If you keep staring
Yeah.
at the same thing and hoping to see something different, you won't. You'll see
Right.
exactly what you're staring at, unless you invite in that dreamy world space of what would that experience be like? And it could just be happening the very next day, the very next day, the very next day. So if it's, say, we're looking at someone towards love, right? They want a relationship. Well, if you're continuously staring down the pathway where you haven't met someone and you're not meeting the right people for you, and you keep staring at that, you'll keep repeating that loop, repeating that loop, repeating
Yeah.
that loop. Imagine the toroidal donuts going in, you're seeing it's going in,
Yep.
nothing changes, comes back out the same, right? Just a new day, different experience, until you allow yourself to go into the space of pre-existence and go, what does that feel like? Like, what am I doing? What's different when I experience that? Even just the contemplation, knowing you're in a pre-existence state, will cause a frequency shift enough for something new to arrive.
Mm.
And if you do that on a regular basis, you will actualize the new frequency little by little, and you won't even realize you've done it. It's so good. It's so,
Cool.
so good. So imagine doing that with anything.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine your reality in a financial capacity, a financial wealth capacity, or any other capacity. It's one thing to look at where you were and to acknowledge it and to see how far you've come. But when you start acknowledging like moment over moment of what you haven't created, that's where it gets difficult, because you will continuously create the loop of the no creation space. So that's where you get to invite in the little play. What would it look like if it's different? And here's the truth. This is what's really fun too. Sometimes you're like, well, that's what I want, right? Not realizing you're speaking from here. And why I say from here is because you could be saying for years, that's what I want, that's what I want, that's what I want. And when it's in your face and you have an opportunity to have it, you might look at that and go, oh, that's not what I want. Right? And
Yep.
how you know is because, like you look at it and go, I want a really big house, like I want a 10,000 square foot house, whatever. Right? And then you realize, like, oh, no, I don't want that, because who's going to clean it? I'm going to live there by myself. Oh, no, that'd be scary. Or I'm going to, all the things that you start going through, you realize, oh, I didn't really want that from the beginning. I thought I did, but I don't. That's where the ego brain kicks in, because it inputs what like society has been like, oh, this is what you want. Bigger is better. Bigger indicates something else, right?
Yeah.
Or if you really lean in and go, what would that experience feel like? What would bring me the most joy? You can make little teeny tweaks from there. But the longer you spend time in that pre-existence space, in that like black hole portal, I would say it's like, if you had to physically imagine it just inside of your body, in your heart center space, imagine it being dark in there. Like if you were inside your body, could you see? No, it's dark in there. Everything's closed, right? Your skin suit's closed. The darkness is the pre-creation space, pre-existence space. So play in that, right? What are you going to say?
Oh, I wasn't. I was just looking at any new comments. That's what I was looking down for. I was watching the chat.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, I get really excited about it because I felt that space. I've created from that space, and it's not there's no barrier in the way of accessing it. It's just we didn't know that's what it was. That's where it is. It's in the darkness within yourself, within anything, in your mind, thoughts, within yourself, in order to create that from that experience space, and then let it move through that toroidal experience of comes out. It's a little bit different. The frequency is a little different. Your outside reality can't do anything but show you what you are being. And if you're being just a little higher frequency and a little higher frequency, it will show. And all of a sudden you'll look around and go, wow, that feels different.
It feels different. Yeah. Just even the thought of one of the ways that I do this for myself is I kind of leave the body and get a different perspective and look at something from a bigger picture.
I was just thumbs upping.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was sweet. Yeah, so rising out of my body and getting a bigger picture of things can oftentimes give me that new perspective I need to realize I'm looking at this one little tiny piece of something this big, and it starts to make more sense to me, and then I can shift how I'm feeling about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden everything just can change.
Yeah. So here's a really good question. When you feel yourself shift how you feel about it, is it you thinking that first, or is it your high vibrational soul essence, you being an allowance of that,
Of
so it
that to come through.
naturally calibrates up, because that your soul's existence is the expression of you as your soul is like infinitely perfect. It's whole in every way, which means it's the highest frequency expressing itself through your skin suit here in your reality, only colored by the programs you carry. So when you are in that allowance space of seeing something and then allowing it to just shift slightly, even though you're not seeing it that way, but you're just open to it, it
Mm-hmm.
colors it in a different frequency, and that has no choice but to come back around and be different.
Different.
And talk about getting excited. When you start seeing things in your reality shift in that way, it is like
It's a game changer.
it is next level, like geek out moments. Like kind of when I saw that video today. I mean, listen, I lived in this my reality of knowing all this stuff for 11 years. Now all of a sudden, I see the video that matches exactly what I got in the hot tub, and there's no end to the excitement level.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh man, so good! This is so good." I think I'm going to talk about this on the on the YouTube live. I got so geeked out about it because it's. I mean, listen, this reality is for experiencing joy and the most love and excitement you can experience. Why wouldn't you? Right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want that? And then the purpose shows itself to you because you'll find something that you lock onto that's easy for you, that's fun for you, and it will change the lives of those around you only because that's nature when you're being you. Right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
much fun. Yeah, it's exciting to play in that space. What if everyone got to learn that? How much fun would that be?
That'd be amazing. Cheryl missed the first part of this and she's going to catch up to the replays, but I think you could just say it really fast, like a fast forward recording. Could you do that for her real quick and just catch her up?
You're so funny.
There you go, Cheryl. And there you're all caught up. No. I love it though. And thank you guys for your comments and your chats. And please do ask us questions if you have questions.
Yeah.
Share with us something that's going on in your life. If you'd like a shift to happen, share with us what's happening, and maybe we can blow that out of the water for you.
Yeah.
Like, let's
That's
change
always
it.
fun. I
Yeah.
think when you're in this space where you feel a resistance to your reality, that's what you get to bring forward. Because oftentimes we power through the resistance. We just like power through, think, oh, it'll just go away, or oh, it'll just like I'll just let it be, and that's fine, and it may be true, but when it's a program, it comes back around, and usually it's only when you dip into that lower frequency of actualizing it, right? You're
Right.
welcome. You're welcome, A. So actualizing something that you don't want is just showing yourself a program. Like you're showing yourself a program, then identifying the program and basically deleting it from my perspective so it doesn't come back again is the most fun part.
Absolutely.
You leave space for more. Hi,
So
Christine.
here's one of my programs. I looked at at the time, and I'm on Pacific time is 234, which it now just switched. But whenever I see something 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, any of those 1, 2, 3, it's like the universe is saying everything's in order.
Nice. Oh,
it's all in order.
That's kind of fun.
So I just wanted to share that as I looked at and saw the time. I'm like, oh yeah, everything's in order. We're in perfect alignment all the time.
That we are. Excuse me. Just my coffee went down the wrong hole. Yeah, so if anybody that's watching has any questions or wants to talk about anything, listen, this is a fun space of actualization where Tracie and I are in here as friends together, playing in a space where we bring two unique perspectives to any conversation. I mean, my zone of genius is actualizing things that you would really like on a timeline that lines up so you can resonate and experience exactly what you want. That is my zone of genius. Identifying, seeing, experiencing, and knowing the frequencies, the coding that you have in your mental space and changing it. And Tracie, explain yours. What's your genius?
I knew you were going to do that to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, yours sounds so thought out and so professional. That's lovely.
Then you allow your soul to speak through you. That's what happened.
That's right. So those of you who know me, you know that I do the channeling with Octurian Daniel and friends, and my whole life has changed since that started coming through. As I have learned to look at the world differently. I have learned that everything is in perfect order. We are always in divine alignment, and uh, when something feels not what's a good way to say that,
Out of
uh,
alignment, or
out of alignment, when something feels out of alignment, I ask the question to myself, why is that happening for me? What's happening here? This is happening for me. What did I want to learn from this experience? And it's changed how I receive things, how I look at things. There's life is going on around me. I've got my children living here with me in the home, and there's a lot of things that go on. And I think that all of us go through certain things in life where life is coming at us sometimes. And it's like, how is that happening for me? And why am I pulling that into my life? And why did I react this way? So my job, or what I do in my work, is to help decode some of that. Why is that happening? Where is that coming from? And where is that frequency in resonance in you? And what would shift that? Those types of things. So I think we do similar things. We just labeled them a little differently, but it all boils down to, we are energy. What is the mirror to our energy in our outside world, and what our experiences are?
Yeah.
And is that what we want? Is that a desire? And if not, what do we do to change that?
I think what I love is that there's a lot of people that have the same experiences that we do, and then we translate them differently.
Yeah.
The way I see how reality functions and the way you see it is, we're all heading in the same direction, and we all get to the same place with unique languaging, with unique coding. And those who resonate with what you say, like, are completely knowing of that. They resonate. And those who resonate with us, and sometimes we're in the space where we are like, yeah, that stuff makes sense. Why? With all of us in the space, you take what works for you and understand yourself better. The know thyself piece is so vital,
Yeah.
because how you experience your reality is how you experience your reality. It doesn't have to be the same as anyone else. And
Not
from
at
that
all.
perspective, you learn how to, I guess, decode and translate your own life, and then shift it to what works for you. And then you just put that on, like, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
That's my perspective. So teaching it from that place is very freeing, because years and years ago, when I first understood my capacities, if you were to ask me, oh, can you teach that? I'd be like, are you freaking kidding me? No, I don't know how would I ever teach that? Like, it's such an internal game. And of course, it's been over a decade now. I'm like, hell yeah, I can teach that. That's so easy. Let's go.
Yeah.
What part of you doesn't know that you know this stuff already? And where will you allow yourself to identify your own way of seeing the world? Because there's no right or wrong in any of it. It's how you see the world. So that's the most fun place.
Absolutely.
I suppose in here we get to
Here's,
bring
here's
those.
one of my fun places right here. Look at that little face.
So cute,
Look
kitty.
how cute.
Is that a cat or a dog?
It's
I
a
can't
dog.
see from here. Oh my
It's my
gosh.
little dog.
Oh, so cute.
That's Latte getting her little face in the camera.
Latte? Oh, how cute is that? My favorite drink.
She's my little sidekick.
Cheers, latte.
When they tell you to think of something that makes you happy to shift the energy, she's my little happy place.
Oh, so good. So if you, those of you who are watching, do share. Bring all your goods to the table. Let's
Yeah,
see.
what do you guys do to bring up your vibrations? What do you think about?
Or what do you want to know when it comes to how to identify your own stuff? Like, bring it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Christy, here, let me pop your thing up there. What do you say? So I just turned 62. Bravo. Level 1 QHHT practitioner. Bravo. Also restructuring my business and life in San Antonio after 30-year marriage. Challenging. Yeah. And what part of your reality do you love? That's what I would ask you.
Yeah, and let's change the word challenging to adventure.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That is also fun. I mean, bravo for a 30-year marriage. That's like
That's a you
universe.
get a trophy.
Yeah. Totally get a trophy for sure.
I love it.
So freedom. She said, I'm going to pop this one up. There you go. She said
Yeah.
freedom. Yeah. Freedom. So when you're looking at what you've created, what part of that is something that we could speak to? How can we support you in that space? Because it sounds like you got your stuff going on.
I want to support her in level 1 QHHT practitioner. Are you still an intern or did you pass that at this point? Either way, San Antonio, we have Christy Workman out there as a QHHT practitioner. If that's your area, look her up. Go get a session.
That's a good idea. Kara says, I love toning in the shower in the morning. Really raises the vibe. Yeah, so good.
I maybe
Yeah,
don't do
lots of
that because I don't want people to wonder what's happening and think I slipped and fell in the shower, but I love it.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm not screaming, I'm singing. What's wrong? No.
You could soundproof it. You soundproof your shower.
Oh, there we go. We'll just do that. Yeah. Actually, I love toning. I got to do the toning in the King's Chamber in Egypt in the Big Pyramid, and there is nothing like it. So I love that you do that in the shower. It's a big energy shift. I love that. Okay, what do we got?
Let's see. Oh, she says
33-year marriage. You guys are competing now.
Like,
Let's see who's been married the longest. That's awesome. Small business with my husband. Oh, that's very
there
sweet.
you go.
Yeah.
Victoria and Daniel. Channel by Tracie. So cool. You got to bring Daniel in and let's play with him.
We could bring Daniel in.
Go for it.
Yeah, that's funny.
She's like,
I realize I realized it says it that way because that's the title of my YouTube page. I was like, oh, that's a really long way to say my name. Oh, that's right, because that's how it comes out. Yeah, I can go get Daniel. Do we want to do that? Do you guys want to?
Kira says, yes, Daniel, please. No, we love you, Tracie. And we know that Daniel is an aspect of you in a different form. So
that's right.
That is the truth. Maybe he wants to play with us.
Yeah, you guys have to ask some questions, and I'll bring Daniel in. Perfect. So
we can ask questions. We can ask questions about the actualization piece.
Actualization.
If he wants.
Which was my word for manifestation.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure I understand what you're asking.
Manifestation, remember I always liken that to the list. Manifestation is the list. Actualization is actually experience.
Actualization of it.
We've just been trained to stop at the list. That's my perspective. We stop at the list and we call it manifestation, but nothing happens. Why? Because we get to actualize it, and that has a few extra frequency steps. Yeah.
All right.
But I would love to know what Daniel thinks of that.
Let's go get Daniel. Let's find out what he has to think about Wendy. I mean, about actualization.
Well, you can ask him what he thinks about me too. That'd be really fun.
That's Wendy need to know. All right, you guys. If you are new to the page, Daniel is my Arcturian counterpart that I bring in. It's a council of 7, and Daniel is the one that speaks through me, who is an aspect of me from the Arcturus planet. And so, okay, can go get it. Bring it all in.
I'll direct the questions.
So sometimes before we get started, they show me things. And what they're showing me, Wendy, is they're showing me your chakras in alignment and all glowing. And then there's like this beam of light coming in through the crown, and then again down through the root and the bottom of the feet into the earth. And it's just this really cool image. So I thought I would share it.
Thank you so much. I did some really good work today.
In the shower, just checking.
No, not although kind of in the bath, but anyway.
I love it. Okay, let's go get him.
That's such a good thank you. I appreciate that visual because that means a lot. I did do work today.
One of the things we want to say is hello.
Hello, welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Thank you. We want to encourage everybody to the toning was mentioned. Yep. That is one of the things that brings the vibration of the body back into alignment. And so we encourage everybody to play with toning and move those frequencies, the tones through the body. And if you Look at colors, frequencies, toning. All of these things are very important for keeping the healthy, strong body. So when you go into your meditations, when you go into your prayer time, maybe bring in those sounds and colors and just see rainbows and all the energy moving through you as color and frequency and vibration. And then go into your meditation and see where that takes you, because it will elevate you and it will open those chakras up for the information to flow in very freely.
Daniel, we have a question actually. It's what is toning?
Toning
Do you want
is,
to answer that one?
we do want to answer that one, yes. Toning is a sound or frequency, a vibration. You have the do, re, mi, fa, so. Well, you just use these tones through your body. In fact, sometimes what we like to say to people is find the frequency of love and imagine putting a tone to that. So, ooh. We know that sometimes Tracie's microphone won't pick up all the sounds that we do, so we tend to not do the toning so much. But as you make sound with your own voice and frequencies with your own voice, you can bring it up and down. You can move it. Singing as toning. Find a song that brings your energy up and sing it. Dancing, moving, get those vibrations high, and then ask your questions and then see what comes through.
That's
Have you
so
ever,
good. I
yes,
was going to ask you that question. You answered it before I had a chance to ask it because I think that some
it's our
people,
it's our like-mindedness.
of course, well,
We pick
some
it up.
people probably think that toning is something separate, and that's why I wanted to ask and bring forward that question, because when you find music that lights up your soul, your vibration, your energy, that's toning, because especially if you're using body movement with singing with it and or even humming with it or hearing it in your vibrational mind, it will permeate through your skin, right, Daniel?
Absolutely. And if you are up against something in the world, separate yourself from that and go play that music, play something that picks you up and put you in that good mood. Get some fun things going, maybe dance a little. In fact, we say that to a lot of people. If you're feeling stuck, be as goofy as you can be and be childlike, because it's going to shift that energy for you and move you into another vibration. So turn the music up, dance in your living room, do all the things that are goofy and fun, and play like a child, if you will. And all of that moves that frequency into a whole different vibration for you. And then you'll start actualizing your intentions.
That's funny.
So if you are sitting there fretting, how am I going to pay these bills? How am I going to pay these bills? And you're all in this, right? You're all in that. Well, the universe you get in this vibrational frequency. They can't match what you're actually asking for because it's in the frequency up here. So they have to keep matching you here. And so when you get up and you dance around and be goofy and play like a child, and then you go out to your mailbox and you find a refund check, right? From something, and it pays all the bills. And that literally has happened for Tracie before. She had to walk away from something years ago. She was going through that, and she just felt, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm going to walk away, I'm going to go do something else. And she actually went and did something nice for somebody else. And then she went out to her mailbox, and there was an insurance check in there for her having what is it, no accidents or whatever it was. She was a good girl on her insurance, and so they gave her a kickback for that, and it paid the bills that she was trying to pay.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm laughing because I'm like, oh, is that why I'm so goofy? Because it keeps the vibration high, you know.
It does. It does. If you can play like a child, if you can get out of that stuckness, out of that funk, and even if you have to, even if you feel like you're forcing it, right? Even if it's like, oh my gosh, I just can't get out. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Just do it anyways. Go for a walk, go play some fun music, take a walk in nature if you can. And if you can be goofy, whatever, hug a tree, do the things, skip. We really, really want you to skip. That would be fun. And just do something that's totally out of the ordinary for you, just to change that energy. And it's going to shift what you're going through. And you'll find that all the solutions start flowing in, because now you went from here to here. And now the universe can go, okay, there you are. Here, we're going to get it to you as quick as we can before you get back home, and we'll go like this again. And so you're going to find that the energy can be matched, that desire, when you're in that higher frequency, right? Or in that more joyful frequency.
Thanks for using that word. I love the word desire. Some people, I think, look at it like more of a negative thing, and desire is a desirous thing that carries a lower frequency, but I don't see it that way. I see desire as a soul's desire, something that you would love to experience and create. And what's kind of been shrouded around that would be maybe the lower frequency of selfishness, where programming is around, oh, I'm being selfish if I have a desire towards something. So I speak right to it. It's like, yeah, use your soul's desire, create from that space. But what I wanted to ask you, Daniel, was how do you feel about my interpretation of the heart center, like the black hole of creation and pre-existence for actualization versus the list of manifestation? And how accurate do you see that for being able to describe it in the way that I do?
Oh yes, we like you're able to create a visualization of this actualization for people to put into their minds so that they can actualize and bring it full force forward. Fruition, that's the word we want. And bring it forward into that actualization. Like you said, manifesting is what do you desire, what is your wish list, what is it that you would like to create, and then the actualization is that full circle of information coming into realization.
Yeah, see the toroidal donut thing. See,
it's yes, that's why we're doing our little thing instead of this.
Yeah.
We're doing this, and so
that's exactly the visual that I got with the toroidal donut. I kept having like, what's that Simpson thing, the pink donut with all the sprinkles on it. I couldn't not have that. It was like there was a dark the black hole, and then inside there I saw the toroidal donut coming out around it, and I think the pink icing with the sprinkles was my lighthearted way of seeing how I guess high frequency it is, how joyful it is, because you can't not smile when you see it. So I've been utilizing that expression to describe how to actualize, how to get into that space of the black hole of creation. Because darkness, what I discovered, Daniel, was darkness is to be afraid of the dark as a program that we all kind of walked into as maybe as a kid. Is that true? I would love to like lean into how we could kind of talk about that, because creation is from the dark, bringing it into the light, because we are light as beings. We see light and we actualize with light. So that's why I saw the dark as a pre-existence space. Can you tell us more about that?
About dark being the place of creation?
Yeah.
We can actually take you there.
Ooh. Okay.
And so if everyone that can close your eyes, we know some of you may not be in a position to do this, but you can try it later. And you just close your eyes and you imagine yourself in your energy body. And your energy body is expandable. So we want you to just make your soul self or your energy body as big as you possibly can. And as you have expanded your energy body, we want you now to expand it again. And now we're imagining that we're out in space, right? We're just going to, if we were doing this with an individual, we'd be monitoring where you're at with that. But we're just going to have everyone imagine they're expanded out into space, and they are part of this expansion of the universe. And when you're a part of the universe, we want you also to invite in that knowledge that in this space where you are part of the universe, and just feel that, expand it out as big as you can. Just keep expanding, 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 and know that you are now in this space of all-knowingness, which is also your source energy. And so you are connected now to source. And that's a beautiful place to be. And now we want you to expand out even bigger. And when we ask you to expand out even bigger, we want you to now just imagine that you have gone into the multiverse, a place where you can see many universes, all from this place of expansion. And as you are in this place of expansion and you can see the universes, and among those universes are multiverse, and among the multiverse is your universe. And then you go even bigger than that. And that is where you go into the place of creation. We want you to just be in the stillness of it, because we want you to understand creation. Creation isn't busy. Creation isn't in this frequency of gathering and moving around. It is in stillness. So be in the stillness of creation. And as you're in the stillness of creation, enjoy that peace. And with that pause, you're able to feel that stillness. And now we want you to look at the world that you have created, your reality. And in your reality, do you have the abundance that you would joyfully love to experience? Do you have the home you would like to live in, the car you would like to drive, the relationships you would like to have? Do you have the feelings that you would like to be experiencing? Are you in the places doing the things that you would like to be doing? And this place of stillness is where we're going to ask you to find your clarity. What experiences, what feelings, what frequencies do you want to experience? And again, as always, back to Wendy's question, when you think about the things that you would like to actualize in your life, what does that bring you? When you have that manifestation, that actualization, what does that bring to you in your life? And this is the place to think about it. Does it bring you recognition? Are you being seen and heard and valued? Are you feeling the love that you were hoping for, the affection? Are you feeling recognized and heard? What is it that your soul is longing for, desiring? And now that you have all of that, can you be that for yourself? Can you see yourself, recognize yourself right now? Know that you are worthy. Know that you are important and that you deserve to have beautiful things in your life and experience and actualize these things, these experiences, these emotions. Be this for yourself. Know that you are something spectacular. And as you become that for yourself, you actually end up becoming the thing that you wanted to be for everybody else all along. And that is radiant love. And now anchor that in and bring yourself back into your bodies, bringing back radiant love and self-fulfillment in these places. And then actualize those experiences in your current experience and reality. Okay, and now anchor yourself back into the body.
I got a massive wave of heat, like massive wave of heat. I don't know if I was tapped into everyone, anyone who's watching and anyone who may or may not watch in the future.
We'll just call you the amplifier. You were amplifying everybody else's actualizations.
Yes, I want what they want. I want them to have what they want. And that's,
your joy is their joy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the space where I have the most fun. It's like, what do you want? Whatever it is, I want it too, so let's get it.
We love that.
Yeah.
You can now make the t-shirt, we're actualizing together. And then people will have to come up and go, what does that mean? And there's your platform, right?
Yeah, for sure. So good. If anyone has any questions for Daniel, please pop them in. This space is a new space, Daniel, for me. I know that Tracie has been doing YouTube lives for a while, and I am so new to it, and I'm finding it such a joyful space. I didn't anticipate the beautiful energy that I would experience being here. So this is the second live that Tracie and I have done together, and we just have so much fun. And I think that's what makes it so exciting for me. And so the frequency is high, and and it feels really joyful to share some of the things that I know and all the new and interesting ways that I see our reality and how we can create from that space and release all the limiting program that we've bought as humanity and keep going. Not because we need to, but because we get to choose it if we want it.
Absolutely. And can we scan the audience for you?
Sure.
Just going to look to see. And this, if you are listening later to this, we are scanning you as well. We scan the audience in all time. And so that is a fun and unique thing, isn't it? To look at everyone that'll ever watch this in all time and see, what do you need to know? Not that there's a need for anything. What would be
Fun.
beneficial to know, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
There is somebody that is dealing with something to do with a child. And we're going to keep it very vague because that way it can apply to more than one person. But there is something going on where you are dealing with matters of a child. And we want you to know that everything is going to turn out okay. You're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. And this is a contract, if you will, to move through this. It is a learning and growing experience. So use the techniques that you're hearing here in this video today. Look at what is this doing to serve myself? What is this doing to serve the child? And how is this going to play out? How do you want that outcome to come into actualization? And then use these techniques and see it. But we want to be very, very clear that you must come from love. So let's say if somebody is in a child custody battle and you are wanting that custody, if you are sending negative energy to the other person, that is not you coming from love. You want the highest and best outcome for this child and the most loving environment for the child. And that's what you're going to focus your energy on and see yourself as being that for them and see resolution in all matters, if that makes sense. We are not here to create more disdain. We want resolution. We want healing. We desire this to be complete and in the highest good for everyone. And so you have to understand that there is something playing out here, and for this to resolve in its highest platform, respond in love, send love, be a love frequency for whatever is happening in this situation. Okay. Is there anything you want to add to that, Wendy?
No, I think there's probably more people than just one that is for certain going through something like that. And there's something to be said from coming from the space of neutrality, where it's not happening to you. It's happening in a space where the observation of growth gets to occur, even if it doesn't appear that way, where you can tap into the space of knowing. So actualize the experience of growth from a heart-centered perspective. And I think when you said you must come from love, that's my perspective on creating anything in your reality. If you want something, it's like adding seasoning to your cooking. Flavor it with the flavor that you would like to taste. So if you are in the space where you get to create something that comes out with a joyful and positive experience, then you get to flavor and season that experience with your thought process coming straight from love and unconditional love from that space, so that everyone has that flavor baked right in. I mean, I know I have very unique perspectives and visuals, but that's for me what makes sense. If you can flavor something with love versus, if imagine if you were tasting it. You tasted
Yes.
someone that baked a cake from love and someone that baked a cake when they were completely miserable and angry, you could actually taste the difference. And so whatever outcome is to be gets to be flavored with the most unconditional love, and from that space you can't lose.
You can't lose.
You really can't.
Anything is possible. So for the one that is sitting there thinking there's no way that can happen, there's no way that this could get resolved like that, anything is possible. You don't know where this energy started from. You don't know the starting point of energy. Originated. Thank you. As as you go into the love frequency and call in the resolution of it, that isn't just resolved for this immediate space here. It goes all the way back to where it originated from and resolves it from that point forward. You are healing things, or you are bringing things into a peaceful place all the way from where that disdain started, from that ripple, and creating healing through all of it into this moment right now. And
Would
so there's so many bigger things going on, right?
Yeah, wouldn't that be considered, actualizing the timeline with the positive outcome? Because you wouldn't necessarily be healing something on the way back, you would be shifting to the timeline where the origination had a higher frequency of love baked right in from the beginning. And
Mm.
thereby, you would be actualizing yourself onto a timeline with an experience that's different than when you thought it was going to be. So, it's almost like stepping sideways into a new timeline where, you know what, the one that you were on wasn't feeling so great, but I'm going to step into a different one that has a higher frequency and a more and the abundance of unconditional love, so that the experience and the outcome can be flavored differently. That's how I would translate that as being, versus looking like healing it all the way back, because that would be insinuating that up until that point it was it was wrong and something had to be fixed, or it was broken and something had to be fixed, whereas it was the timeline that it was a timeline you were on. There is no wrong thing in it. Stepping into a new timeline is a choice you get to have, because you could keep the timeline you're on and keep going and experience whatever that's going to result in, or you could shift to a timeline where the experience is way different. And you don't have to know that that's going to occur. You just get to be consciously aware of the choice that you're making, and that will create it by default. Right?
That is one way to look at that, as we think we're saying the same thing as you are saying. We are seeing it fold out maybe a little differently than what you are creating with that reality of structure. But there is, as we're seeing it, or what we are receiving with that statement, is that there is a neutralizing of a frequency that is in a timeline that is holding the frequency, as we were referring to it, as this will heal, because that is a language that is understood by humanity. This will heal.
Yeah.
What it does is it changes that frequency into that higher frequency, so that timeline can join the higher timeline.
Yeah, I think you're right. We're saying the same things, and I love that we say the same thing differently, because everyone's going to receive it the way they allow themselves to understand it. And that's my favorite thing about having two differing opinions. It's so beautiful to be able to see it from two viewpoints in order to have the same result, which is a higher experience. So someone in the chat is asking, let me see, Mary is thinking about her two grandsons when it comes to the thing you were talking about with the children. And so she would like to know what, excuse me, what you would have to say to her about that.
Okay, so we're looking at Mary's grandchildren.
Yeah, two grandsons.
So we're going to trust that we're going to get the correct frequency for Mary and her two grandkids. It's easier, as you might know, if we know the actual person, that if Tracie knows who she is talking to. So we're going through her filters, right? So we're going through and looking and asking to connect to Mary and then her two grandchildren, and ask if there is a more specific message for her. So again, we look at this as a bigger picture. What the scenario that they are going through, or that they are experiencing right now, there are things playing out for learning reasons, for acquiring experiences. Everything is an experience. Remember, we're going back to everything's in divine alignment. Everything's happening for a reason. Now, if you want to hold the space for that playing out in the highest outcome, that's what we call Mary in to do. Hold the space for the highest outcome for everyone. How can you lose when everybody's in the highest outcome, right? And so holding that space for that highest outcome for these grandchildren. And again, coming from the place of love, if there's some sort of dispute or argument or illness or whatever it might be, don't hold any harboring energy towards an illness or an ex-spouse or a scenario that might be playing out, an argument that might have taken place. Don't hold anything like that. That is a vibration that is in interference to the actual outcome that you desire. Your desired outcome is for everyone to be healthy, happy, and in their highest outcome, right? And so holding that energy, seeing that energy, seeing all parties involved in the best outcome possible. It's hard when we don't have very many specifics, right? And so we're looking at this in a general kind of way. But we do sense that there is energy there, and rather it's Mary's or another individual that is holding energy that is not a match in frequency to the desired outcome, and to identify that and to explore that and find your way to raising that frequency into the match, if that makes sense.
Am I correct? It feels like anger.
Yes. Yeah. There feels like there's a lot of hurt feelings. Usually anger comes from hurt, those old wounds.
Yeah.
So this is more than just this incident. This incident is a mirror into deeper things. And so go on the journey to find, where did this anger, this unhappy feeling, where did it originate? We invite people to begin looking between the ages of 1 and 10. Most often you'll find it there. And so if you're the one holding the anger, and this is to all of the audience, if you're holding anger or any sadness, left out, rejected, betrayal, any of that stuff, go into the ages of 1 and 10. Where did you first feel that? And look at that scenario, hold that part of you. Of course that hurt. Of course it caused you to withdraw from others. Of course that made you feel bad or sad or angry. It wasn't fair, of course. And acknowledge that, because we're always seeing this in society where somebody has a feeling and then they're made wrong for having that feeling. Mm-hmm. And then they hold that feeling in after that, right? And it doesn't get expressed. Yeah. And it builds up, and then it needs to get mirrored back to you in later years so that you can move through and find that aspect of you that's still there holding it. Yeah. And then you raise that up, right?
My invitation would be, I believe I linked Tracie's website below, like in the description. Feel free to lean in and book a session with Tracie, because you can book a session with Daniel as well with Tracie, and ask some really deep questions to get further clarity around that. And the most important piece, if you're okay with me chiming in, Daniel, is to hold unconditional love irregardless and irrespective of whatever is occurring. Because when you hold yourself in the space of feeling bad for someone, you're going to hold that feeling bad positioning. And you can acknowledge that doesn't feel well. I'm not suggesting don't experience that. Well, my invitation would be, acknowledge that, and then use your power, the unconditional love power that you have, to hold everything in that unconditional love space so that it can raise up. Imagine a balloon with a string on it, and if it's held at the bottom of water, if you're holding the feeling bad towards someone, you're holding that balloon underwater, and all it wants to do is float to the top and spring up into the air. And so by holding unconditional love, you're letting it go to raise up on its own. And how quickly that occurs there's multiple factors towards that, but your delivery, your holding that space, your intentionality around being unconditional love for the whole scenario will give it that fuel. If that makes sense. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I don't seem to have any more questions, but
that is good. Tracie, we're ready to bring her back in, unless you want us to speak on something else.
No, you know what? I appreciate that you popped in with us, and I can't wait to play again. And it's so great to experience your frequency again. And thank you so much for
Thank you so
playing
much.
with us today.
Thank you for the invitation. And
Of
thank
course.
you, everybody, for being here. And we'll bring Tracie back.
Yay!
Okay.
So
Yay.
good. So good. So this is just such a fun space. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm really enjoying connecting with everyone. And when Daniel was in, he brought forward the energy for everyone to experience their infiniteness.
Yes.
I was so on fire. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sweating.
You're like, pit, pit.
It's kind of like heat's like pouring out of my hands. I can feel it coming out of my body. I'm like, whoa, 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 this is awesome. And what the heck?
That's so cool. I love that.
So great. So yeah, I guess what we'll do is we get to play again, Trace. And
we'll just have to do it again. Yeah.
If anyone watches, those of you that are watching, we're so grateful that you're here. And my invitation to you is to ask yourself what it is that you want from that proverbial place. What would you like to experience?
Yeah.
Because what we'll do is we'll dive into how to get there. I mean, I'm going to share everything in this space. I don't see why not. It's you get to choose it for yourself, right? My famous line, I don't have to live your life, you do. So you have all the choices. So if I give you everything you require and then some to what you can utilize to create something incredible in your world, please choose whatever it is that you'd like. My role is just to share, I guess.
I like to say, give yourself permission to have that. It's a weird thing to say, but it's amazing how it can shift your perspective. Like, I'm going to give myself permission to have that today.
Yeah.
To have all the resources I need. I'm going to give myself permission for that to come in joyful ways.
Yeah.
You know?
It's the sound of your own voice saying it, that resonation of your own voice back to your soul level.
Makes sense. Yeah.
It totally gives a different feeling into it when you're saying, yeah, I give myself permission. It feels different. Just say it.
Yeah. I love that.
So good. So thank you so much. Thanks, Cheryl. And thanks everyone for showing up. And thanks, how do I say that? Neuromancer. I love it. So good. Thank you everybody for showing up. And I look forward to seeing everyone next time, probably next week at some point or sometime. I'm going to keep a regular thing going because this really
I think it's fun. Yeah.
It feels
a lot
my
of fun
soul.
to be here live with you guys, all of you, and sharing that between our two pages. It's amazing. So don't forget, you guys, Wendy, also, if you are on my page, go to Wendy's YouTube and sign up on hers as well so you can get all of her updates and
vice versa. If you're online, pop over to Tracie's. I linked both of our websites in the description. So if anybody wants to and play, I have a free secret podcast and where I speak into the depth of all the crazy things I get from the hot tub and then some. So if you want to hear those things, feel free to go.
Wendy, I love it.
Jump in and listen to the hot tub chronicles in there. And my invitation was for everyone to go book a session too if they have some deep questions about things going on in their world. That is your domain in that space too. Mine is a little different in that I'm delivering the tools and all kinds of things, but I do have a live masterclass coming up, I believe on the.
How would you identify what you do as a coaching thing, right? It's kind of like a.
I call it more mentorship, not coaching, because
I want to use the right word for it because it's very powerful what you do. You get us out of our stinking thinking, you get us out of our programs, and by the time you're done, we're like, why not? I mean, what is stopping me? So
good. Yeah, it's a mentorship into what do I call myself? A reality architect and dimensional fusion specialist, which are my languaging in like a reality architect is how are we going to create what are we going to create? So we're going to architect our reality.
Yeah.
And then dimensional fusion is how we bring the timelines together. Or if you're here on this timeline, how do you get to this timeline and what does that look like? So dimensional fusion is in that. And there's a special, I guess, pathway that creates that every single time. And that's the world I've been living in for the last 11 years and perfecting it and honing it and then getting more at the same time. So if you want to come play with me, there's lots of spaces in there where you can ingest all the information. I'll let it permeate and then allow yourself to pop out. And there's also spaces where you can play with me live. So I think on the 31st, so Trace, I'm inviting you to come and play with me there too. Right now, actually, the masterclass is $333 and it's on for $33, just $33. So
Wow.
you can come play live. It's 2 hours and we're going to go through all of it. And I'm going to deliver information around it. It's called Not This Timeline. That's what it's called. Not this timeline. That's not the one I want. And that's kind of why it's called that. So you can shift at the timeline. So it's identifying kind of the pathway on how to go from not this timeline to another one. So fun.
Absolutely.
I'm inviting you all to come.
Whew. I can feel it, man. There was a lot of energy in this one.
There's so
you guys are great. Thank you for all of you who were able to show up live and for everyone listening later. That was kind of cool to go through that too in the live to scan the audience. And I've done that with Daniel in videos that I've made.
Yeah.
Where he's scanning the audience before I even post it, and it's really an interesting experience. But to have some of you guys here live when that's happening and then scanning into the future or what we consider our future, that was really interesting.
Yeah, very fun. I never know what to expect, and you and I we've played in space with Daniel quite a few times, and it's always very enlightening.
Ride the Daniel wave. We enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right.
So thanks everyone. Thanks for hanging out in EchoCode Live. I appreciate you all
for having me.
And thank you for playing with me again. So we'll do it again as soon as you can. And for there, you all know we'll send out the notification. So make sure you tick the little bell or whatever so that you're notified when Tracie or I are going live, and we'll see if we can put it up earlier than a day before.
No, for me it was the night before.
Yeah, that's okay.
But
but we'll do that, and we'll have some more fun, and let's just create some unconditional love power in this world.
Here's a suggestion to you guys. If sometimes it's hard to come up with a question when you're right on the spot, and then all week long you'll think of things, right?
Yeah.
So write them down so that you have them when we go live. You'll have the questions, and the funny part is you'll probably have already gotten the answer.
Yeah.
But I think that's the beauty of it too, because you guys are masters as well. And we're all just mirroring each other, aren't we?
Yeah. And that's why you're here. That's why you're vibing with the conversation, because you have the power within you to actualize anything you want. And as we all do, but some are just choosing it now and some may choose it later and some may never choose it, and all of it's okay.
It's all okay.
Yeah. So thanks so much. Have an incredible rest of your day, everyone. And thank you, Tracie, for hanging out with me. I totally adore you, friend. Love you.
Love you too.
See ya.